Look familiar? It should. The main entrance to St. John's Military School. Hi, I'm Al Ransom, old boy and class of 1956. It's an honor for me to be here today and have this opportunity to talk to you, my fellow old boys, about a message that's very, very important to me. It's very appropriate we start right here at the entrance to St. John's Military School, where we all passed through years back. But there's a couple other buildings I'd like to show you also before we get into our discussion. Let's go over to the chapel, a place we all remember. Armstrong Memorial Chapel, one of the original buildings that was still here when I was a cadet and you were a cadet. When we were cadets, new boys, trying to survive and grow here at St. John's. Everything has changed except this building and Sage Hall. Everything except one, the cadets. We survived it and we grew from it. But nothing has changed today for the cadets of today. It's still the same. They're going through this same agonizing initial new boy phase, and they are still growing as cadets. That's who we need to be talking about. That's who we need to be helping. This should look familiar to most of you old boys. Sage Hall. It was built when I was a cadet here at St. John's. I lived here. So did cadets such as Dale Browning, Tim Sewell. I mention their names because they became very successful businessmen, and they've established multiple perpetual scholarships for cadets. This is the old barracks. Let's look at the new barracks. The school has done a great job of getting endowments from old boys such as Jack Vanier, who provided the monies to construct this magnificent barracks. Many others have contributed to this barracks. They created this state-of-the-art recreation room and the wonderful weight room they have for the cadets to use. But none of this could have gotten started without the initial endowment from Jack Vanier. He's shown here with his brother Jerry in the 1940s, which was before I arrived here in the 50s. These endowments can only be used for improving schools. It cannot be used for assisting cadets. And that's what I want to talk about to you old boys, assisting cadets that need financial assistance. We need to establish our Old Boy Scholarship.
Hello, my name is Dale Browning. I graduated from St. John's in 1955, and I'll always be grateful for everything that I gained while I was a student at this school. But more importantly, I served on the Board of Trustees for 34 years. And most importantly, I served as headmaster for the last 4 years. And I must tell you, I have never been as proud of this school as I am at the present time. During those 4 years, I met some wonderful young men, became intimately familiar with some of their problems, their concerns, and their lives. This school does a marvelous job in educating young men and teaching them personal values that will carry them to a success in future years. These young men come from homes that many times there's only one parent, sometimes no parents. Sometimes they're being raised by their grandparents. Some of these young men have had problems in their own public schools, and others come here purely to get a good education. I am convinced that St. John's provides one of the finest educations for high school students in this country. But most importantly, we develop young men with character of goodness and ethics and morality that's so important in this society in which we live. The reason for me to be here today with you is to ask you to help these young men continue their education at St. John's. So many of them want to come back to the school, but they simply don't have the financial resources to do so. Just any donation from our alumni and from other friends of the school of almost any amount will be so helpful to enable them to return to the school and continue their road to success. Each time you will have helped a brother. All of those that have attended this school, attending it now and will attend it in the future, are truly brothers. And we have an obligation to help each other. And I now ask you to provide that help to young men that you may not know, but that you'll hear about in the future.